Yes.
Yeah, if they call someone, they realize you up to them, they'll hang up quick.
Yeah.
They'll call the next.
And the other thing too, banks have to give you the money back. I was in Chase. I went in there with a check, okay? And, I wanted X amount of dollars, but they said, we can't give you the money. I said, is that your final answer? People, yes. I think it's a matter of over here. I mean, she refused to give me money, and she is allowed to give me 25% of my check. Yeah, right?
But see, a lot of people don't know that.
And that's why
That's the
I
thing.
personally,
Yeah.
I spent 18 years as a banker. I want to teach everybody what I need,
Oh yeah. The best way is,
especially the ones that look like me.
yeah, the best way to prevent it is just spreading the knowledge.
Exactly.
That's it.
And that's always my second question. Is that your final answer?
Yeah. Yeah. The best way to prevent it is to spread the knowledge. Yeah. So, and they don't just use it by spoofing. So there's other apps out there. Like right now, let's say you have Wells Fargo, or Bank of America, or American Express, and you have those. Like for me, sometimes I have that bank phone number saved on my phone. They could copy that phone number. When they call you, it'll show that number. So on your phone, it'll show like, oh my God, Wells Fargo's calling me, and you will answer like, oh my God, what's going on? Because you saved that number. But they have apps that spoof that. They're like, hey, ma'am. Your account has been hacked. We just want to make sure that it is you. Can you verify? Some of us don't know any better. Like, oh my God, oh yes, my information is blah blah. The moment they tell you to verify anything, no.
The ladies, when they have knowledge, public just cleared out. That
Yeah.
idiot called me yesterday. I was in the car with my granddaughter.
Yeah.
That idiot called me on speaker. You won $3.5 million. I'm like, really? He goes, he asked me all kinds of information, and he asked for my social security. And I said, who lost your mind? Do you have any idea who you're speaking to? And by the way, is it sunny in Africa?
They could be anywhere. They could be anywhere. Dr. Brown, yeah.
I was going to say most of the time, especially when we talk about the banking, it's rare that your bank
Mm-hmm.
will call you and ask you to give them. Because one of the things I have read is the bank, they're going to give you something that they know about you already.
Yeah.
Because once the person starts asking you all the questions up front, and not giving you information that they don't know about you, you all know right then, that is the fact.
Yeah. It's very rare.
Everybody will say something to you, they know about. Exactly. They ask me for everything about the house.
And it's not just the bank. You get these calls from people pretending to be the IRS, the FBI,
Yes.
telling you that they have a search warrant for your arrest.
And what was interesting in that, my granddaughter was in the car. She
Got it.
listened to the whole thing.
Yeah.
When the car finished, she said, Grandma, they don't know who you are, I don't know.
Yeah.
I
So-
don't you like me, I'm fully by English.
Yeah.
Nobody knows that.
Well, that's
But
good.
I did.
That is good. But same thing, spread the word. It's the best way to do is to spread the word. The FBI, there's even these pop-ups on your computer. If you happen to click on something, and it'll tell you that you have a virus, please click here for them to get rid of it. So might scan. We see those all the time. Yes, ma'am. So phishing will be when they send you an email pretending to be like Amazon. So, let me see, I know you can't even see this. So this would be like, they'll send you something like this. They'll say, you have an order from Amazon. Please click. And some people have Amazon like, boy, I didn't order this. And let me click on it to cancel. The moment you click on it, boom, they already in. So that would be phishing. The spoofing will be them using a phone number that they know you may have, and they use that phone number. It'll pop up on your phone. You're like, oh, yeah, hello? I have bank what? My account. That would be spoofing. They spoof a different number. For sure. That's the difference between spoofing it. So,
If you answer it, you use your name, and they know your name, I say, may I help you?
yeah.
How may I help you? And they keep telling you, I said, once again, you have not answered me. How
Yeah.
may I help you?
Or I would say to hang up.
Never say
Yeah.
yes. Never say yes to
No.
your name, 'cause they got your voice.
Yeah. I would say to hang up, and you can call them back.
Yeah.
or go to the bank physically.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes that's when I wanted to say.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But other than that, stop praying for them.
Yeah.
I tell you that, ain't nobody waiting.
Figure line I usually call, the money goes fish market sandwiches today, especially when I order.
Yeah. So a lot of the things that we see also is that it's called like the grandparents scam.
Oh,
And it's not really just grandparents, they prey on all family members. So they will have someone call you, say, they'll find out your granddaughter or grandson. They say, hey, so-and-so has been arrested and they're in jail. And if you don't know any better, oh my God, so-and-so's arrested. Oh my, how much money does he need for bail? They'll tell you, send the money here, send the money there. It's happened. I've had an incident with my aunt. So she called me, that was like about 2 years ago. She's like, hey, your uncle got in a car accident. They say he killed somebody. They taking him to jail. I'm like, huh? What are you talking about? He's like, yeah, they just called me. They told me that I need to send some money for bail. I'm so scared. He just left the house. I'm like, wait, who called you? He's like, the police. I'm like, why would the police call you for bail? I'm like, they'll take his butt to jail. When he gets there, somebody he'll make the phone call. But when you think about it, is that the love we have for our family, we're not even thinking, we're like, oh, holy crap. You panicking. And they hoping on that you panic and sent the money to get your loved one, out of jail. And I'm like, did you call him? She's like, I'm calling him, he's not answering. I'm like, all right, give me a second. So I start calling him. And he didn't answer my phone either. But I'm like, I know he did not get into a car accident. I'm like, when did this happen? She's like, oh, I-95, blah, blah. And I was a state trooper for 7 years. I'm like, okay, I know who works that area. I'm like, let me give some phone calls. I'm like, what crash? I'm like, crash? They say it was a bad crash. If a crash happened, someone died, the entire highway will be shut down because it's considered a homicide, vehicular homicide. And I'm like, is the highway shut down? Like, no, there's nothing going. I'm like, auntie, no, this is not happening. I'm like, finally, she got in contact. I got in contact with my uncle. I'm like, where you at? He's like, I'm in the backyard. I'm like, man, get inside the house. He was trimming edges. I'm like, go inside the house and tell your wife that you fine. He's like, what? What happened? I'm like, man, because they saying that you killed somebody. So he went inside. She's like, oh my God. She was about to start driving, sent the money to go to the bank. So. Yes. So I'm gonna give you another good example on something like this. There's a fraud that we're investigating. I'm investigating. It's been like a year and a half. It's still not closed, so I'm not gonna give too much details on names. But this was a incident where a person went to a hotel. He was able to obtain another person's credit card information, book the hotel room in our city. The person lived all the way in New York. So when he woke up, he saw the American Express, like, a charge in Coconut Creek. He's like, call American Express, like, hey, I'm in New York. Like, what's going on? So then he called us, responded to the hotel, like, hey, who's in this room? They gave us the information. We went there. This was this young man, him and his girlfriend. Happened to steal the guy information, booked the room for like 3 nights, staying there with his girlfriend. So we end up seizing his phone, getting everything. In the phone, there were a couple of known players that we know in the city that does fraud. We found all these pictures and documentation. One of the guys that he's associated with scamming his own family. His own family members, because he knew the information. It was easy for him to get close, and he gave it to his friends. He didn't care that they were his family. And in the list, I didn't know any of these people. We found, I think, like over 57 different names, address, phone numbers from Hollywood, Miramar, Pembroke Pines. Like, we don't know if they were victims. We don't know if they were accomplices. It was just name, phone numbers, bank account, checking account, social security numbers. It's so many right now. There's no way we're going. It's probably going to take us another 3 years to figure this out. By this time, I mean, money's already being spent and gone. So, and during that period, we figure out, just started calling some random numbers. Did anybody file a report for fraud? Now we can say, okay, that's a victim. Did anybody not file? Try to figure out, are they associated with this or are they a victim? Just in that phone alone, the amount of money they were making, just holding cash in their ear, drawing money. On average, we saw that they were making about $60,000 a day. Yes, ma'am.
I had an experience, it was real, but then I thank God that I used my head. He said, Grandma, there's a chance. And Chance had a proper sound like he was in Alabama.
Yeah.
I was trying to catch the voice, he was saying, he was in his house broke down, he needed money. And I said, okay, give me your number, let me call you back. Whatever number you gave me, I hung up and called his mom.
Yeah.
Chance, he said, he don't even have a car. I said, okay. So that was, I think, God
Yeah.
was real.
Yeah.
It threw me off, was like, I don't hear from him every day. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
This is-
I said, when you call his mom, he has a type of parents, and I know that they kind of.
Yeah.
Keep up with him, and I'm like.
But this is what they hope on. It's called, they hope that you're not making that extra phone call, you're not taking that extra step, or you might be like, oh my God, yes, I'm going to send that money right now. The moment they sent it, it's over with. And a lot of time, we get these scams where like, oh my God, why would you do that? It's so stupid. But then, in our mind, we're thinking like, why would you do this? But in their mind, they're like, well, it's the most I've ever seen. We've had people send over $700,000. Oh yeah, we had a guy, I would say, victim per se. His mother passed away. She used to be a executive for AT&T, left him millions, and fell in love with somebody that thought was a real person. Finally going to come see him, and this and that. Sending money. In the investigation, that we found out he's paying for a house in Margate.
Yeah.
Paying for a full mortgage to someone that he never met. He's paying for 2 tuition at University of Florida. Okay? And sending money weekly. The total amount that we found for that, fraud was about $700,000 within a couple months. And it's not just men, it's men and women that are sending this money. People, they look on the fact that you may have lost a husband that you've been with for so long. They try to come in and listen, I'm old too, and this and that. They just tugging on your heart string to try to get whatever they can. And once you send that money, it's over with.
But I got one of the calls too. They called to tell me that my son was, that you're talking about.
Yeah.
I say, I'm telling you, don't drop the phone, and what time is it in an hour?
Yes, ma'am.
Could you, address the other one that I had sent you, that it's like the latest scam? It's a bunch of us on our Southern Fellowship, that they were talking about. They hack your email. And I know Sister Scott's email, so I'm emailing Sister Scott. And sometimes this person can be out of state, and I'm saying that, I need this amount of money, can you just get it to me to help me out? And we were like discussing this here, that who would send the money without checking with the person whose email is that person's email?
Yeah.
So they hacked it. So it's that person's email.
Yeah.
And they're asking you for money. And on our little group chat, when we were talking about it, we were sharing, don't fall for the scam.
Yeah.
And there was memos on our group chat, and family members had been sent $30,000.
Yeah.
One member sent $1,500. And when we say that, who would do that? These were real people
Yeah.
in different parts of the country, state, sent money. So, the one about, this is the email hacker.
It's all kind of the same. It's just like they could hack your phone number, they could hack your email. Sometimes they'll send you a link that it looks like it's your email, but if you kind of pull the cursor over the link, it's not really the email.
Right.
It's something completely different. But I would say to verify anything, give them a call. Are you asking this for real? What's the situation? Don't be embarrassed to call them.
Sometimes you get all those numbers.
No, not the person that called you, but call the real person. Yeah, yeah, to verify. Because once you send that money, the banks are going to tell you like, well, you sent that money, so on and so forth. Yes, ma'am.
I had a call, somebody called and told me, you, friend robbed somebody, and he feels like a couple of house. And I told him, I said, well, if he's in jail, he'll get 3 bills a day, but I never get hurt before.
But that's because they didn't do their homework. They didn't do their homework. But the thing about it, these people make thousands of phone calls a day. They only need one. They only need one for the day. That's it. Imagine you making 1,000 phone calls. They just need that one person to like, oh my God, send 1,000. Okay, 1,000 every day, 7,000 a week. And they have a group of these people making these phone calls. They may have computers making these phone calls. So.
I just wanted to share, when they called and my husband answered the phone, his phone, and he's a police officer. He said, okay, buddy, thank you for calling. I have my social security number right here for you, my credit card, just tell me whatever you want. I got it right here for you. And then he turned the phone down.
Yeah.
He said, okay, but I'm ready for you. You turn them on.
Yeah.
They have a scam also that when they call you, you can't hang up the phone, or otherwise they'll harm your loved ones. There's, so I have your father or whatever here with me. If you hang up this phone, then he's going to be dead. It happened to my niece. She had to send money before they would release her phone, but of course they didn't have a phone.
No.
But they got the money.
This is why you got to call. This is why I tell you, it's when it comes to these scams, they really don't care about hurting anybody. Really, they just want the money. That's it. They just want the money.
And unfortunately, she was so afraid that they're gonna feel her bad. Of course, she gonna send the money because they feel your emotions.
Yeah,
She couldn't hang up the phone.
That's what it is.
She went to the ATM,
yeah.
all that. While she was still-
But this is why you got to call your local police department right away. Let them know this is what's going on. This is what's happening. Give them the information. I mean, by the time you give them the information, they run it. They'll tell you, yeah, this is a scam. When's the last time you spoke to that person? Call that person. Give me 1 second. I think she had her in first.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Detective, you're doing a great job. For 32 years, I worked with the City of Miami Police Department. My last unit I worked out of was crime scene investigation. What he's telling you all is, but a lot of the stuff he said is true, but a lot of it is old.
Yeah.
They had, just before I retired, they had one where they would call you home and say, it's the IRS. And then they would ask you to go to the store and get the green dot card or something.
Now it's Visa gift cards.
Yeah.
It's Visa gift cards now.
And I told my sister, I said, if anybody call you, tell you something like that, IRS don't call you.
Yeah.
And tell you to do that.
Yeah.
If they want you bad enough, they'll send somebody to tap them.
Yeah.
But I say that to say this. I remember Reagan used to say, trust, but verify.
Yeah, you're wrong.
Trust, but verify. Some of us are so gullible. And when we hear what somebody say about money, and if you're doing bad, you're gonna listen to those people.
Yeah.
But we have to realize people are praying on us, and they pray on our elders. They pray on you just so they can get over, and they will get over.
Yes.
Because some of us are not as smart as they are. A lot of people have not been in on the police department. So the ones that has been and still is, they know what they're doing.
Yeah.
So
I just want to say trust and verify.
Yeah, with that being said
I
too,
like that.
also, it's not just the phishing and the scamming. Sometimes I have a case it's still, it hasn't gone to trial yet, but I end up arresting the girl. So this happened to two elderly individuals. They went to the doctor, and their nurse was telling them, "Hey, listen, you need to weigh yourself, blah blah, go in here." The first time she did it with the hey, listen, leave everything behind you. He's like, I'm at the doctor's office, put that wallet down, weigh himself. As he's weighing himself, kind of looking where she's making small talk, she already took 2 credit cards out of his wallet.
Wow.
The next day, same thing. She had a female patient, and she told her, "Oh yeah, we need a urine sample from you." Blah. Most of the time we go to the doctor, we trust these people. You put your purse down. Same thing. Took her credit card. She ended up going to Publix, buying multiple gift cards and other credit cards. And the way we made the connections, like these people went to the doctor, same doctor, 2 different days, had their credit card stolen. She went to different Publixes, but we saw the nurse. We saw her. She was a still full nurse uniform. Drove the same car. We just happened to get. When we spoke to the gentleman, like, where have you been lately? What's going on? Could somebody has taken your card at your wallet? He's like, no, it's not possible. The only thing that happened is that I went to the doctor. I took up my wallet. And he gave a description of, well, the nurse that saw me was like this person, this height. She had a tattoo here. And, okay, we ended up finding the car. It's the same car that we saw pulling in front of Publix. Run the tag, pull up the information. We saw the girl. Tattoo on her chest on her driver license. Just like he said. But there's people out there praying on you. Now, when I started doing my research investigation, she's on probation for this already. It's not like this is her first time.
Okay, I got one little thing to add. One year I didn't get my income tax check, and I was so angry, it was like a year and a half. So, I called IRS, and of course I brutalized everybody that called.
Yeah.
So a few days later, I came home from work. My husband said, "Baby, there's a white man out there in the car waiting for you." I got out of the car. The guy came up to me. He was a Secret Service. He says, "You threatened a government employee, so we have to follow up on that." And yet, when he saw who I was, you know what he did? He had my income tax check. He gave it to me. He had it in his hand.
Yeah.
But they don't play. You don't threaten them. They show up at your doorstep.
Yeah, depending on how credible is the threat. Yeah.
And my husband just in the house, let the man sit outside. I said, "Baby, go home that home." Right then, he said, "I said, my government name?" He said, "Yeah, baby, go shut up."
Yeah. But sometimes the thing is, there's some things you can't prevent, like with the IRS stuff. So there's like a couple weeks ago, they hacked T-Mobile. They stole over, I think, 11 million customer information. Just last week, they hacked HCA Healthcare, which is a hospital.
Yes, I got the notification.
You got the notification? So with HCA, they took patient's name,
Yes.
address,
Yeah.
phone number, email, date of birth,
Yeah.
your patient's record.
Yeah.
With that information, they could get a whole bunch of other information. So I have, actually, Dr. Brown, come here for 1 second, because I'm going to show this to you.
Okay, so what's gonna happen with the young lady?
Oh, with the young lady, I end up arresting her. Actually, I call her probation officer. She had a warrant. She was living out of Orlando. She was before she came down here. She was at a medical office in Orlando. She did the same thing. And the sheriffs in Osceola County had a warrant for her. She left Orlando, came down here, transferred. They didn't do any type of background check. They're like, hey, she just came down here to move back with her family, and so on. So they just hired her. She had a warrant out of Broward County. Okay, already, and she was working in Boca. I end up having to call a probation officer. I'm like, why don't you just violate her? She has a warrant. She has 2 warrants. She's on probation already. But they're so busy with stuff. He's like, man, even if I violate her right now, BSO's not going to come get her. They can't physically arrest her and take her to jail. BSO has to come. I'm like, you know what? I'll go down there. So I went down there. I had her call. She kind of knew she didn't want to show up. We would what? Tell her she don't show up. We're gonna come to her house. She has to come. She's on probation. End up arresting her. Had 8 felony counts on her, plus the other warrant that they put on her for Osceola, plus Broward County. But guess what? She's out in 3 days, waiting for court. Yeah, because the system is so. These people are doing this so much. They can't hold everybody at the jail. It's impossible unless it's a violent crime. They're not gonna hold it, and these people are gonna go out, and they know this. They know the system, so they're gonna go back and try to prey on you again.
I'm not questioning that. They will immediately put a predator on a register. Why can't there be a register for those that?
That's beyond my pay grade. That's the legislators that makes the law.
Not years ago, we had, we had bad checklists and other things. I'm sure some smart guy in DC or established a bill about almost similar to HIPAA, service violations of people's identity at one time. And sometimes they don't realize they're putting one thing and kills another. That was wayside. That was one of the greatest things we had. And you would think with automation, you don't need the stat checklist. Something will come up, just like sometimes you go to the airport, they're on the bag, you're not fly list, and then it will come up something about it. Well, even with new stuff, with team at Turner, things have changed over the past 20+ years, and we were cutting edge. But now, all that stuff is out there, you would think that was this out there, that was catch, don't you know? But like you said, every day things change, but also laws on the books sometimes protect. And strictly they're not trying to do it, but some of those laws on the book will protect the person. So if they can't do it me and you, they can't do it them. So they sit under the guise of the law.
So this is one of the things I want to show you. So so when they get your phone name, date of birth, address, and forth. So this is a website. I'm going to show this to you. I'm going to have you put your information, and then you're going to verify it with your driver's license. So with this website, put in your first name. Do you use a middle name? Just put the beginning. Put in your last name. All right, year one. Yeah, just the year on that. Mhm. Put the month.
While they're doing that, I'm just gonna say from a nurse's perspective, normally when you go to the doctor's office, when they weigh you, they don't weigh you in the room, they weigh you outside your room before you go into the room. The scale is out there, and the person with you holds your purse standing right there. So if it's a scam, like what that girl is doing,
So
she's taking all that personal stuff, weighing them
So
while they are not.
because the state of Florida
Normally you have office, so
A lot
let's
of the
look out
states
for it, 'cause you can have that person.
are built.
Doctor's office too.
I have
Who
a
is taking you somewhere else away, right, and leaving your person
Now,
with stuff
look at this
there.
issue.
Normal, that's not the
Oh
norm.
yeah, because now they can start the password.
You take it with you, the person
But
standing
now-
there with you is holding your purse while you're on the
Now the
scale.
bank might say, oh, okay, what's your driver's license number? That's something many people don't have.
My doctor's office, they wait before you go in the room, the scale is in the home.
So the example I was just showing Dr. Brian is some states, like state of Florida that we're in, your driver license number is something that's like, you're like, oh, what's your driver license number to verify? You may have that. You're thinking like nobody's going to have that information. But if they just hacked into the hospital, the bank, or whatever, they have your name, date of birth. That's all they need. The example I just showed Dr. Brian, right? Just had him put his name. Imagine he got hacked.
Birthday, and after we kicked the driver's license came up.
Because in the state of Florida,
This particular.
it's just a website. It's a free website you can just go to. put the name and the date of birth of the person, and will give you the driver license.
Wow. See?
Because in the state of Florida, yeah, in the state of Florida, your driver license, the B, of course, the whatever that start with, that's your last name. The second set of number is based on the algorithm of your last name, how it is. Second set is of your first name. The two middle number is the year you were born. And the last one indicate whether you're male or female. So on Florida, any number that's the last number that's under 500, you are a male. Over 500, you're a female.
May I share this? You were talking about, going into places and leaving stuff. Also be very careful when you're flying. Just the other day, they busted this ring out, and might have been Dave Broward, where the TSA people.
Oh, yeah.
were, and I, you know, when I put my stuff in here, go to the thing, I want,
Yes.
what's the matter with that?
Yeah.
And they all flat, but sometimes you just have to have photos. They don't watch the stuff go through.
Yeah.
I watch it go through, I watch it come out, even if I'm held up to do other things, I'm doing it. Very important.
Yeah.
Then secondly, we were talking about, praying on not just elderly, young folks. Just recently, you probably heard about a rash where young folks. And I tell my students all the time, guys, be careful what you take a picture of. They take a picture of the private parts. Someone calls.
I was gonna do sex.
I'm gonna like you. And it comes up, they send it, and they collect it. And the rate of suicide.
Yeah.
But they're so embarrassed.
Yeah. We that's like a whole another can of worm. But that is another thing that
Did everybody sign? They're paying me 10% every single.
that is okay, sorry about that. Go ahead.
I think I'm a victim of what you're talking about.
Yeah.
When it first started, I used to get phone calls. I had phone calls, and they ask you all these questions, so they keep you on the phone a long time. And when I got my phone bill was kind of high. I said, oh, wow, why my phone bill was that high? This one, whoever it was keeping me on the phone, and the minutes was adding up. The minutes was adding up. So what I had to do, even now, I still get, I don't answer the phone. I think I got hundreds of calls. And they still call.
Where do you live? What city do you live in?
The phone,
Liberty City. Okay, go ahead.
and even now, I can't even answer the phone.
What cell phone company do you have? What? Oh, is it a house phone or a cell phone?
Yeah, my house phone. It's a house phone.
So-
Yeah, my phone.
You could contact the phone company. Okay. Okay.
And it's terrible. I
Yeah.
can't even, you must have kept my little phone right now. All of
Yeah.
these calls.
I mean, if you answer, they know that someone is there to answer. They're gonna keep calling.
And what, I don't answer, if I don't see your name, I don't answer the call.
Yeah.
And it's still calls. I have to just cut the phone from keep it off.
Some of the things that what Dr. Bryant pulled up is something specific called sextortion. Is the new name for it.
That's it.
What is it?
It's called sextortion. So sex and extortion.
That's what
So,
yeah.
that's
Because
why
they have brands and great brands, so I wanted to.
So
Yeah.
what they do is mostly, from what the stats are showing, it's mostly affecting young men, but it's also young female. So there's apps out there where you could meet anybody within like 5 minutes. If you want to hook up, hey, let's go meet at this park, at the church, whatever. And people are doing it. I'm telling you, and you think it's not just kids, because on Sunday, we just had a rape case that turned out not to be a rape. 41-year-old female, which is a doctor, a therapist, met a 51-year-old male on Facebook. They met on Thursday. on Facebook dating app. They decide to meet together on Friday to have sex. So it's not just kids,
Exactly.
it's everybody. But what they doing to the kids are they say, oh, okay, I'm so and so, pretending to be like if it's a young male they want to target, they'll pretend to be a beautiful young female. Hey, how you doing? Blah blah. Send me a picture of your private. The moment they send that picture, boom, flip. Hey, you need to send me $50 or else I'm gonna send this to all your schoolmates. Kids are like, oh my God, I'm not even gonna tell my parents this. I'm embarrassed. And they'll send the money, find a way to get $25. We found there was a case, a young lady was sending Amazon gift cards because that's what they were telling her to do. Using her mom credit card, she sent like $3,000 worth of gift cards. And the mom, she shopped so much on Amazon, she didn't catch it till later on. But it happened. But the moment they tell these young person, whether it's a young male, young female, to send this money, oh, we're going to release this, they panic. Kids, that's embarrassing to most teenagers. They're not going to run and tell their parents about this. And what they finding out is that these young males are committing suicide because they are so ashamed of their embarrassment. The stat is within 6 hours of this happening, they are killing themselves. So imagine, how long you sleep? How long do you sleep at night? How many hours?
4 o'clock every morning, no nothing.
So you sleeping more than 8 hours on average. If this thing happened to you at the time you're going to sleep, by the time you wake up, your loved one is probably dead. This is the stat that they talk about. But the thing is, they're not really going to release it. They really don't care. They don't even know what high school you go to probably. But the point is they point on the fact that you're going to be so scared and embarrassed. You're going to find a way to send this money. And some people are so ashamed, like, oh, crap, I just sent a picture of my private. I don't want my parents. And they'll go kill themselves. Oh, yeah. It's getting to Florida. It started, it's everywhere. It's everywhere. I think the stat was that they found that at least 6 recently in Broward County. I don't know the stats in Miami-Dade. 6 just this year in Broward County that committed suicide based on that.
I can only imagine if they are being extorted, that they will probably steal their parents' credit cards.
Yeah.
Because they're in the house.
Yeah.
With their parents, and I don't expect anybody in my house to steal them. But if they're being
Yes.
extorted.
This is exactly what it's called, sextortion. It starts as, okay, friendly, think, oh, yeah, I want to date, blah, blah, this is so-and-so, and you sent the picture. Now, they say, okay, I got you now. I got a picture of you naked. You better give me $50. And they start out small because they know it's kids. They know they don't have much money. But they see, okay, $50. You sent me $50 now. Next time I'm gonna ask for $100. Next time I'm gonna ask $500. Next time I ask for $1,000. They're gonna see how much they can push it. All they care about is the money. So the thing is, you gotta talk to whether it's your grandkids, your actual child, about this because it may happen to them. And you gotta say, listen, don't be embarrassed, don't be ashamed to come to me, tell me this because this is what's happening. Because the shame, it's caused them to commit suicide at an alarming rate.
What I find is that I'm a grandmother, you're a granddaughter, right? So the mother, my granddaughter, they have different ideas of stuff. My idea is if there's a computer in the house, it's where everybody can see it. I don't.
Well, it's not just the computer. Your cell phone is the computer.
No, I mean,
Yeah.
the whole thing.
Yeah.
It's where everybody can see. But
Yeah.
now I just know this computer.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, whatever it is. The
Yeah.
children are like yesterday, when I was out with my granddaughter.
How old is she?
She's 19. Well, she will be 19, September 23rd.
Pretty sure she has a cell phone.
And I was out with her, and I was picking up books.
Okay.
And first, I'm sorry, she said, "Grandma, you don't need books, we got internet, whatever."
Yeah.
But what I noticed is that in the room where she is, she can be on the computer at all times. She's at my house
Yeah.
this week. So, it's kind of hard when she's allowed to do it there, it's like.
It's not just the computer. You thinking
No,
just,
I mean the whole
yeah.
thing.
Yeah, the whole thing.
She has all of it.
Yeah.
But she's allowed to be by herself.
Yeah.
In her own environment.
Yeah.
So when grandma does it, grandma's mean.
But it's okay. It's okay to be me. But the thing is, you have to bring him the information and tell him about this because this is something new. This is a lot of stuff like I didn't learn about sextortion till about, I say about a year ago, that this is something new. And I'm in the field. But there's people that's specific to the field that deal with this all the time, where they prey on children, whether it's, child pornography or whatever. But this is just them preying on anybody that they can get on the dating site. Like, Brian, I'm going to come back to you.
I would believe that, that door was that's what was turned. I'm sorry, that's one of the.
Yeah, no, I'm talking about from my granddaughter.
Did you have reference to children there?
I only got one for, yeah, okay, yeah.
I was just.
Okay, got you.
She
Go ahead.
did, and I'm worried about her.
I have always been the kind of mother, grandmother, that gives you scenario. So, when you talk about this sextortion, that now resonates because I'm like my middle grandson, genius. I mean, when my son wants him to look at the stock, he says, Curry, I like the stock, read up on it, come at me, whatever, he does that kind of stuff. He's like, he stays in his room. They don't have a TV. My son doesn't believe in the television, he is home, his three boys don't have television in their room. But now I'm gonna talk to him about the sextortion. Because I like to give scenarios, and I'm gonna try to say it real quick, because I know this is another thing.
Yeah.
When my daughter was young, I had to give her a cell phone in the 3rd grade because she was a latchkey. But I would tell her from the time you come from Pontiac, because you always live in this area,
Yeah.
she's got to be on the phone as soon as she walked out. Now, you pay attention to your surroundings. Now, I'm at work.
Yeah.
And once you get home, okay, mommy, I'm at this gate. I have to stop for a minute. Unlock the gate. Okay, I'm in the house. But I said, if somebody comes at you, bite it, swallow it. They need DNA. If they tell you whatever you have to do. You have to give your children scenarios, because sometimes it don't resonate.
Yeah.
And you want to do that. So with your grandchildren, your nieces, your nephews, I've always liked to tell you, if this happens, if they say they're gonna hurt mommy, I said, listen, God is awesome. We'll see each other in the spirit. We won't know that you are mommy, but if that's the case, then they'll hurt you. So we have to do that. But this part here, I'm gonna have to talk to the 16-year-old. And
Yes,
the
because
11-year-old about
it's
that.
the teens, is the one from like
She's talking about
age.
back in the day,
Yeah.
my two older kids were there, 38 and 40 now. When they were little in school, I gave them cell phones, right? And of course, they gave them back to me. We don't want to track anybody. They gave them back.
Yeah, but
They gave them
But
back.
now every child wants a cell phone because they want the independence. And it's not just on the cell phone they doing this because they hacking into video games. Your kids playing video games, computer games, and they are on there. You thinking they're just playing video games? Someone is pretending to be a 12-year-old child, whatever, playing as a friend, but it's really some 50, 40, whatever year old person somewhere in the middle of nowhere try to get this information. So.
Walmart, because I have to pay rent, I thought I was smart, buying your part, and I always keep the receipt in case they lose it or they don't know how much money. So it was like 4 months after Christmas, then you said, Grandma ain't no money on it. I said, it's money. I went to Walmart with it. So when I bought the car, now I'm buying it, and I didn't really have to tear it off. It was over there, the numbers off, they already used the information off the car.
Yeah, they already copied it. You scanned it, put money in it, which send it to them. They already had the information. That's yeah. So, yeah. Another little thing I wanted to talk to you about with regarding the fraud thing is contractor, because I just had this recent case where sometimes you guys hired. It could happen to anybody. Hire someone to do work for you, and you give them such and such amount of money for them to start the work. They delaying it. They don't want to start it. It's like, what can you do? They preying on the fact that, if me and you have a contract, it's a civil matter. It's not really, a felon. You can't be like, oh, I'm going to go to the police. Hey, give him back his money. You have a contract. You have to go to court. It's this and that. They preying on the fact like, damn it, am I gonna really waste my time to go to court to get this money, that money back? So we found some people that pretend to be contractors or whatever. That's what they're doing. Oh, I could do this kitchen for you for, $20,000. I need this much deposit, this, and that. I'm going to let you know there's statutes out there to protect yourself from that. So one of the statutes is Florida Statute 489.126. 489.126. Okay? It states that now you're going to have to get in contact with the state attorney. You're going to have to blow their phone because sometimes they don't like to process these cases because it's hard. And state attorneys don't like to lose. They want to keep a good winning record. So make sure you document everything, every communication, how much you gave, what you gave. Do not pay a contractor in cash. Please don't do that. Give him a check, cashier's check, whatever. Do not pay in cash. Now, it says that, go back all the way down.
I'm sorry, just a second. Yesterday, I had a person that come out to give me estimate to paint my house.
Mhm.
You know how much he told me? $13,000. I told him we got 10 seconds to get off my property. $13,000. And so I go to Angie's list. So I call Angie every reported it.
Yeah, sometimes they don't even care about it. They just want to get the money. So that statute says a contractor who receives as initial payment money totaling more than 10% of the contract price must apply for a permit, if they need a permit, okay, within 30 days. So they may try to stall tactics, say, okay, the city don't want to give you this, they must apply for a permit within 30 days. They must start the work within 90 days, as much as they could stall, because they could stall. And stalling, saying, listen, I can't get the material, or this and that. You're going to have to find a way to prove that he can't get the material. This is what they're hoping for. That they hoping like, oh, damn it, man, this guy's giving me hell, blah, blah. I'm just going to give up, find somebody else. If they get more than 10% of the down payment for your money, they need to apply for permit. If permit is required, within 30 days. If they get more than 10% of your money, they got to start the work within 90 days. If they don't, now you still got to go to the police department. You still got to play the game. You still got to file the report. You need to contact, if you live in the city of Miami or Pembroke Pines or Hollywood, you need to contact that local agency, file a report. You need to contact the permit department. Say, listen, did this person ask for a permit for this house? Who asked for a permit? If they tell you no, please give me a record of that. Because when you want to file criminal charges, they're going to want all this information. They're not going to arrest them based on what you said. You need to bring proof. You need to say, listen, yeah, I gave him this much amount of money on such and such date. He did not apply for the permit on such and such date within 30 days like he's supposed to. He was supposed to start this work in 90 days. Look at the time. The case that I was dealing with, this guy paid over 80% of the money for kitchen renovation, all this. It has been a year and a half. Work never started. Actually, when I completed all the probable cause and all this, when I was on vacation last week, they finally arrested the guy. And I was so happy. I felt so bad for him. I called the guy while I was on vacation. I'm like, listen, they finally got him. Took over $35,000. Nope, not yet. Huh? No, but the state could still penalize. But you're gonna lose the money and just let him be? Let him scotch-free? No, he's gonna go to jail. He's gonna have to pay restitution. You can't. The thing is, they prey on the fact that you're gonna give up and say, you know what, this is too much. I'm pretty much done. I'm just opening for floor. I just want to give some other stuff, but if you guys have any other questions, I'll leave my contact information with Dr. Brian and Mr. Brian. Don't be afraid to go to your local police to ask questions. Don't be afraid. There's victim advocates that are there. That is their job. It's not just the police. There's victim advocates. Say, I need a victim advocate to help me with this, and that. Whether you need a restraining order, what to do about this, about that. Find the information. They are there to guide you. If you have a question,
I just wanted to add one other thing that's very important, because we do have seniors here, about the different individuals coming to their doors, police officers,
yeah.
with uniforms, UPS, FedEx, that.
other than the police, no private person should be coming to your home asking for anything. And if you should see a marked unit. Unless I'm investigating something, I'm pulling up in my unmarked car, but I'm already investigating something. And usually if I'm going somewhere else, I will call that agency and be like, hey, I'm going to such and such address. Can you meet me there? You will have more than one. We had an incident where elderly lady, she had to knock on her door, say, hey, someone hacked your Bank of America account. We're here to give you a new card. You think these things don't happen? It happened. And she's like, oh my God, they took they like, yes, we have your new card for you. Here it is, but we need the old one because she gave it. She gave the old one to a fake one. And like, all right, oh man, just to make sure that it's you, what's your PIN number? She gave it.
No, she don't.
Yes, she did.
Just listen.
I'm telling you, these things, you think like this is stupid, I would never, it happens. And they prey on the fact that a lot of people are older, they don't have, like, if you don't get along with your family, they know, they're like, okay, that person don't have nobody else to talk to, nobody else to call. They're gonna prey on that. A lot of, in our city, the reason it's so high too, because we have a large retirement community called Windmore. A lot of those retirees are from New York. They're from out of state. They don't have anybody here. They just retire and move to Florida. All the families are still back in New York. So they know you don't have anyone here that's close to you that you're going to talk to. And they hoping for that. So talk to your family. Call someone. Verify, like she said, the information.
I have a police question. When police officers and things go like this up come to your house, I was home, and as soon as I walked in the house, I knocked on the door. When I opened it, I saw these, like yourself with a gun, everything on. They said, I want to talk to Kevin Green. I said, he don't live here. The police officer, this young man, his name is Kevin too. He said, well, and I said, by the way, well, why do you want to talk to my son? We can't tell you. I said, well, you ain't seen him. And then the police officer said, me thinking that my son didn't do anything wrong. I got on the phone, Kevin, there's some couple in front of my house and they want to see you. Well, what you not telling me? Okay, so when Kevin came, he came over. The police officers were there, was like 4 of them. The cops I was there and I saw it with my video camera. And they wanted to talk to him. I said, no, you want to talk to both of us. Kevin said, no, I got this. So at 1 second, the police officer came and he whispered something in Kevin's ear. Kevin said, Mom, it's okay, I got this. They didn't handcuff him or anything. They put him in the car and they said, Mom, he'll be back. And like I was supposed to be to work at 11 or whatever. They said, Mr. Green, he'll be back at a certain time. He didn't come back. So I called the police department. I said, this is where's my son? And they said, we're going to transfer you to robbery, with the guns, what do they call it? When you have
It's
guns.
robbery, it just depends on
Yeah, anyway, I said, well, and it was just the way the police officer did it, I thought he did something wrong.
Well, things happen. They do investigations. Sometimes we can't tell. If I'm investigating something, I'm not gonna be like, oh yeah, he robbed such and such bad. I'm not here to tell everybody. I don't need everybody to know this person. I just need to speak to him regardless. That's it. No. Thank you.
Valuable information. We know that knowledge is power. So we thank God. Pardon me?
We're armed and dangerous now.
Yo, yes. You know better, so you're gonna do better. Amen. So we thank God. We thank God for Miss. Come on up, Lady Bryant. Make sure I pronounce his name correctly. Detective Gene Saint Amour. Detective Gene Saint Amour. But he gave us some valuable information. We can take it and and we can share it with others. And we thank God for Lady Brian, she's our health and wellness coordinator. Let's give her a hand. I'm gonna let her give some final remarks, and we'll give our remarks, and you said what and I just want to add, I mean, he only did a centimeter. I mean, I'm a nurse, so a centimeter is very, very small on the children. The children with sextortion and all of that, those games that they play, we attended with about 40 kids. It was in Miramar, and it was done through his church, took my grandson. So when we were saying, he wasn't talking about taking their cell phones away from them. He's not talking about taking their laptops or computer. It's just that you need to impart that knowledge to them as to what can happen when they're on those games. Those kids came out of there with eyes because they think that they're smart. They're smart. They know how to do anything with those games and everything. But that friend that's tapping you into that game and trying to be your friend, it's not a kid your age. It's an adult who's asking you to send that picture. They're not 12 years old like you. So that's a whole nother other. My goal is to have that entire group. It was an entire group of people. We must have had 15 or 20 people, victim advocate. There's a whole section of what to do when those things happen. And so I will be doing that probably next year for youth throughout our Florida East Coast. It would be a section where we will invite all of them. But I do thank you all for attending. And then while I'm here, I want to put a plug in for tomorrow. We know that tomorrow is mission. We have the deaconesses, and we have different sessions, but we also have youth. And so we're asking you, even as you go back, if you haven't already spoken to your youth director, our youth director, Julie Gilchrist, from our southern end, is asking us all to send youth from our various churches to participate tomorrow. We want to fill this place with youth tomorrow. And I did a vow to her. We was asking for 2, but I said to her, I want at least 10 from Antioch. So all of you all, if your children are not coming tomorrow, grandchildren, bring them, Sister Green.
My grandchildren, they're old. The 14-year-old, my son told me no. I asked him if I could bring him, he said no.
And right, but we do want to see them tomorrow. We're gonna have a great session. We are asking. I reached my church's president of their mission about being here tomorrow. Also, we're expecting all of our churches, president of the mission ministry, to come, presidents, and bring members with them. And of course, Antioch, all of you all are invited again tomorrow, because I don't want our youth to be here and don't see your faces. And we will now have remarks.
One last thing I got to say. One thing about your money, guys, if money is ever removed from your bank account and it was fraud, the bank has to give you your money back immediately.
I think Sister Green, he was explaining to you that it's easier to use a credit card than a debit card, because the debit card is full. But he said that it's easier to deal with a credit card. You're not listening. It's easier. He did not say it won't.
No, I'm not talking about him.
No, but I'm just talking to the audience. It's easier to use a credit card to get your money back than it is from a debit.
There's no such thing.
Okay, Dr. Brian, I just want to, as you speak, make sure you make this clear. People watching online. I'm sorry, yes, sir. There are people watching online, so as you know, give information, just make sure you will just say those who are watching online about those announcements. There are people online as well, just say.
Okay, we're trying to talk into the mic to all of those that are listening. Tomorrow is our mission, our deaconesses, all our divisions, and we are asking you all who are listening, that we want our youth to be represented from each church. So if you have children, grandchildren, because it's all different sections, please feel free to bring them tomorrow to our morning session. It starts at 9 a.m. And usually we're out by 11, but we're asking everyone to participate into any president of mission ministry at your church. We're also asking you to attend tomorrow and bring the members from your various churches. And we're asking our mission members, presidents, to wear white. And we will now have remarks by our president, Sister Jackson.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. What a wonderful presentation and a wonderful workshop. We are so thankful that information is powerful, and the lack of knowledge, the people perish. And I'm so thankful thank you so much, Lady Bryant. Thank you so much, President Pauline Scott, for allowing these sessions and these workshops to take place, because it's information that we can use. And every day, every minute of the day, someone is laying awake trying to figure out how they can steal something from somebody else. That go to work every day, honest people working to secure their funds, and there's someone out there trying to take it away from us. And so we're so thankful that we know people and we're in touch with those who are informative and could help inform us. And we have been informed today. Thank you so much. Praying for the rest of the session, for tonight, tomorrow, even on the northern end. We were with them yesterday and last night. And so we're so thankful that Florida East Coast as a whole is being blessed. And we are blessed to be a part of it. Thank you again for this time.
Thank you to our president, Sister Gloria Jackson Davis. We always appreciate her being on the southern end because she is a part of the Southern Fellowship. Amen, amen. And we want to give another word of thanks to Lady Estella Bryant, who's our health and wellness coordinator. Health and wellness includes about 7 components, and this is wellness. Not only do we have physical issues or mental issues, also we have social and financial, and today we also have environmental and vocational, and spiritual wellness is the greatest. So we want you all to take this information, make sure you share the information with others, and if they're not here, they missed the treat today. But we pray that if you want to give some kudos and clap, so thank you. And I'm quite sure if you like to reach the detective, you can contact Reverend Bryant, Dr. Bryant, or contact Lady Bryant for additional information. This morning has been well spent. We want you to return back this evening. This evening is our President's Hour, but we will have a workshop this evening by Reverend T.T. Shellman, one of our vice moderators of the hymns, the old hymns of the church. We have gotten so contemporary now, we don't hear a charge to keep I have, and we don't hear pass me not. Very seldom do we hear some of the old hymns, and I was raised up on the old hymns, and I was just thinking about that. So we'll be back at 6 p.m., and then we have the President's Hour. The Women's President Hour, we will honor women of royalty, women that have served in the Southern Fellowship. And we're wearing shades of purple. You can wear a pinch of purple, but we want to let those past servants know that we do appreciate them. And as I share tonight, I would love to see your face tonight. So please come back and share with us. And then Reverend Ramsey is at 8 p.m., our president, when we give honor to Reverend Ramsey and thank God for his vision in this Southern Fellowship. We are about to close, but one other thing I would like to share. Yesterday, we had information on hurricane preparedness, and we have some handouts. You can take a handout and share with friends and family. It's time for us to prepare for the hurricane because we are in the hurricane season. So we have some handouts. Sister Bright, will you show those that are here? If you'd like to receive a handout, we have some on the first pew here that you can take and share to have all your supplies ready. And when a hurricane comes, you won't go out into the stores to look for batteries, and there are no batteries. So you want to get those items early on. We just want to say thank you all for coming today, and I'd like to honor Mother Jackson today. Mother Jackson, we are so happy to see you. We also like to give some honor to our layman president, Deacon Green. He's here this morning with us. Deacon Green, would you like to come up and just give some information about in the morning? Let's give Deacon Green a hand, because he's always on point.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. We thank God for this chance, this opportunity. That was a wealth of information the officer gave out. One of the problems, I just want to say this first, Madam President, is that unfortunately, our female population doesn't grow up in that culture. Many of our males do. I'm a product of Overtown and Liberty City. And there are actually schools that they teach people how to scam. You have your amateurs, you have your semi-professionals, then you have your professionals. They know exactly how you act, your behavior, and so forth. So you got to be aware of that. I tell my wife this all the time. I've been telling this for years. You never know who's watching you. But anyway, listen and learn. It was said just a few minutes ago that ignorance can kill you. In terms of, our president just said that, my people perish for a lack of knowledge. If you don't know, listen to someone who does know and learn from that and pass it on. As my pastor says, you know, him and I were ex-relay racers, track runners. And look around you. There's a missing element today in practically in all of our churches, and that's the men. And that's the men. Now, ladies, you play a big part of that. Your husbands, your brothers, your uncles, your friends, encourage them to come. Satan is doing his job. But there's always a remnant that will help us to be where we need to be. On tomorrow, the men, I will be facilitating the class. And last night, if you missed it, Dr. Bryant mentioned about, it was the Great Commission, Matthew's the 28th chapter, when Jesus, after he taught his disciples to go and to teach all nations and everything. But I'm going to get into some specific, because there are certain things that God expects of a man. And we're going to expound on that tomorrow. And thank you, Madam President. And we also will begin at 9 a.m. tomorrow morning.
Thank you. one of the things I wasn't clear on when I was up here, I talked about everything tomorrow morning, but we definitely want you all back tonight and invite everybody back because our own President Scott will be doing her message tonight and Dr. Ramsey. So tonight is President's Night and we need everybody back. Thank you. Yeah, and worship starts at 7 p.m. promptly here.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Lady Bryant. Tonight, also tomorrow we have one of our facilitators here, Deaconess Julia Kearns. She's one of the facilitators for the deaconesses. So wave your hand in the back. So please come on Saturday. Saturday we are in white. Just a plug from our moderator, and we're going to be closing very soon. And it's on the back of our program for this session. It is the vision of our moderator, Reverend Toby T. Philpott, that each of us are part of Florida East Coast Association Covenant Partners. And Covenant Partners, you're giving a donation of $240 per year. Instead of giving a donation at every session, we're asking that you would just give $20 toward Covenant Partners. We do have Covenant Partners envelopes here, and we like for you to buy into our Covenant Partners initiatives because it helps those that are less fortunate when there are hurricanes and when there are other catastrophes. Florida East Coast can step right on in and help without, out begging. So we want to encourage each of you to give a donation toward Covenant Partners. And make sure you fill out the information so that you will have your name documented on our dashboard that you are a Covenant Partner. So we thank you. We thank each of you for today. Deacon Green.
Yeah, Pastor, also our covenant partner. I think the moderator still has some more people.
Yes, we have our Covenant Partner pins. This identifies that you are a Covenant Partner. Thank you very much. If that's it, Dr. Odom, do you have anything you'd like to say from the St. Matthew Church? Okay, we thank Reverend Vincent Brown and the fine people of St. Matthew for coming and opening up their doors. The hospitality has been remarkable, and we do appreciate you all. And if that's all hearts, minds, and clear. I know we overlooked some things this morning, but we thank God that you're here. So we're gonna go dismiss with a prayer. We're gonna ask our board chairman to come up and just close us out with just a prayer, and we'll see you back at 6 p.m. Our board chair, Dr. Bryant.
Let's pray. God our Father, how we love you, how we praise and lift your name. Thank you now for this day of worship. Thank you, God, for those who come to facilitate. Thank you for leadership. Help us to understand the importance of following them so that we can get the job done you've left to our hands to do. Hold us now in our hollow. Keep us in prayer till we meet again in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Amen.